So once again, good morning, everyone. I just want to let you all know that the PowerPoint slides and all of the other material that we mentioned last week in our last call will be available to you all later on today. We had some hiccups with getting all of that information published for you all last week, so we should be getting that up today. Aaron just put the link to where we've been dropping those YouTube videos and all of the infographics for the validations of the week that Aaron's been doing at our documents and guides section of the SD website. So I'll go ahead and move along. So I just wanted to mention here for the ASR, this is a little outdated, but as of yesterday, there were about 84 districts that had certified this report and 52 districts that had at least one site confirmed. As of this morning, though, our numbers have significantly risen. We've got over 100 districts either audit completed, meaning that their REOs have looked at all the information and have determined that everything is good to go. We've had over 100 districts either audit completed, certified, or state aid has given their blessings on the information that's in that report. So we're looking really good with the ASR for now. So if you're still having issues with transportation, please do reach out to both our office and state aid. We are working together to get you all squared away. Just a reminder that if you are making transportation edits during the week, that currently we are only requesting for transportation on Saturdays. No student information system vendor is set up to send us any updates for transportation. That is not an issue on your student information system. That is just a limitation of the data standard that we're in currently. It's not set up in a way that any adds, changes, or deletes get sent to the state as they're occurring in your student information system. That's only for transportation. If you are making edits to your attendance, we should be getting those updates. But every now and again, we may not get a, say, delete message or an update for attendance. Say if you're updating a student who was absent at any point in the school year and may have went back to present because documentation was given to the school district or for any other reasons. We may not get those types of updates. So if you reach out to our office, we can make sure that we clear out those inconsistencies and get you squared away on that report. So again, if you're still seeing inconsistencies at this point, please do reach out to both our office, state aid. If one of you, Aaron or Eric, is on the line, please put state aid's email address in the chat as well. That would be great. So just reach out to us for any of those issues. So I'll move on. I don't have a slide for this. This is an oops on my part, but I did want to mention for those of you that are doing the Title I Part A report that we are having issues with the number of IEP students that your district or site may have served during the year. We are working on getting that corrected. It shouldn't take us very long. At the latest, I would say Monday, we would have that all squared away, but I'm pushing for this to get corrected today so that you can continue to review that report tomorrow. Again, if you're working on the Title I Part A report, we're just having a hiccup on the number of IEP students displayed. We aren't noticing any other data discrepancies. So your enrollment counts for your kindergarten or pre-K through if you're serving grade 12 students should be showing correctly. That is coming from the WAVE and is being pulled from my data. So if you are noticing that for some reason you don't have any enrollment counts, please reach out to us. It's more than likely as simple as there's a area in your student information system that has not been coded correctly. So just make sure that, say if you're a school-wide school, that you do have in your student information system marked that you are a school-wide Title I school. Same thing goes if you're targeted. You'll want to make sure that for your school sites, that indicator for Title I is marked as targeted. The only caveat with targeted schools is you'll also have to make sure that individually, student-wise, that any student that is targeted is also indicated as being targeted. We have gotten some emails from districts where they did have their school marked correctly as being, say, targeted, but they did not indicate any of the students that fell into that bucket. So when they went to go and look at the report, they did not have any students listed or counted. So just double check on that, or get with your federal programs staff to make sure that everything is looking okay. And once this is posted, we'll make sure to have a slide that talks about Title I and how to fix it, just in case you do need to pass that information along. If you have been around with us last year, the same information that we posted in Gov Delivery last year about this report, that's what's going to be included in that slide. So if you keep your emails, just do a search on that, coming from our office talking about Title I from last year. So with that, I'll move on and let Aaron take over and talk about the validation of the week.
Hey everybody, this week we're going to go over one or two validations that we've already talked about 3 weeks ago. And I realize now that the way that we had described it and with what we've done in the past weeks of making an infographic for the validations, that would be helpful for this one. And we still have about 1,800-ish errors that's across the board on these two particular errors, and these are probably impacting a lot of people's ASRs and the days that are being counted right now. And so for every single day, of course, you have a date type, and that can be, you know, instructional or a makeup day, an emergency day, something like that. And of course, they've got an other code that goes with that, and every single day will provide that other code. But typically most of them are going to be in A. The only, you know, useful portion of the other code that we use that for is teacher only days, and that's the 0845 code. And the other code that goes along with that is, of course, 01 for professional day and 02 for parent teacher conference days. So the direct error that is the one where the calendar date other code doesn't align. And then, of course, the other error that we had was the daily instructional minutes is invalid. That'll, of course, like I mentioned previously, most likely be due to your calendar date type being incorrect. You've got a day marked as instruction that probably shouldn't be marked as instruction. It's probably a holiday or a teacher-only day that's incorrectly marked. And the minutes are appropriately set, but since it thinks it is a instructional day, that's where the validation is marking those particular days as incorrect. But this infograph will be on our website that I posted in chat as well, and follow it there and all of our other validation of the week infographics, and you'll be able to save just the individual graphic as a PDF. You won't have to worry about grabbing all of the slides for this and digging through that every single time. You'll be able to just save the individual graphic and have it as a either bookmark in your web browser or just saved on your computer for easy reference. I'll hand it back to Lakeisha though.
Thank you. Just a little side note on those daily instructional minutes. For parent-teacher conference days, you all are allowed to count a certain amount of days with instructional minutes. No state aid has been reaching out to districts specifically. This is something that they're really taking a close eye on. There is funding tied to it. You can count up to about 720 minutes for your parent-teacher conference days. So that should translate to about 2 days worth of instructional time, even though your students are not necessarily physically in the building. So that is per state law. So if you had been reached out or if you have been reached out by state aid, that's what they're looking at. There is a question in the chat to confirm on our ASR.
Right,
Yes.
that is completely correct. Your parent-teacher conference day should have the date type as 0845 and another code that goes along with that of O2. Absolutely. And they should not be marked as an instructional day.
And there should be instructional minutes tied to that 0845 day.
Absolutely.
Of 360 minutes. Or if you do a half of a day of parent-teacher conference, that's where it gets really, 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 really confusing. So let's just leave it. Let's just leave that alone. If you guys, some of you do half-day parent-teacher conferences and then count a whole day on a different day. That's we would tell you to find the first non-instructional day, not a weekend and not a holiday, but the first non-instructional day following that parent-teacher conference day, and mark it as a parent-teacher conference day. So let's say that you have a parent-teacher conference day right before fall break. A lot of you guys do that. Right before spring break, a lot of you guys do that. I would take the first day of fall break or the first day of spring break and mark that as a parent-teacher conference day, where it's not falling on a national holiday and it's not falling on a weekend, because we'll have validations against national holidays. We'll have validations against weekends. You want to put that on the first actual non-instructional day that is part of a break.
Okay. No other questions, so we'll move on. Thank you, Eric and Aaron. So just a shameless plug again, like I've been doing every other week, for our Teams channel to collaborate between our office and all the school districts. So if you just have a general question that you think might be beneficial for a larger audience to know about, you can definitely use that channel. We'll post any announcements that we feel is relevant to the group in that channel. So later on today, we'll be mentioning what I talked about earlier about Title I in that channel. But again, if you just have a general question, our office is a part of that team as well as state aid at this moment in time. So it's been a pretty good resource. So we do have a link on the Waves homepage where you can sign up using a Microsoft form. You'll just put in your name and your school email address, and we'll get you added to that team. We're definitely not spamming it, so if you're worried about that, don't. So it's been very, very, very useful, I think, for those that are a part of that team right now.
The other benefit of that is that you guys can help each other there too. So if you've had a problem and figured out the solution to that problem, and another person posts in that team the same problem, you could answer that as well. You could help them answer that as well, especially if you're using the same student information system. So if you guys, that's a great way for you guys to collaborate together as well. It's not just a one-way communication with our office or SDE. You guys can help each other as well. So feel free to respond to others on that team that are not us if you think you could help them. Another thing is it's basically instant communication with us and instant communication with many others in the districts in your shoes. So if you feel like that you are out there alone in rural Oklahoma, you're not. Join if you're part of the team, you can leverage this team to get technical help and expertise from others around you or others that have done this before.
So with that, I will swing it back to you all for any questions, comments, concerns. I will make a caveat right now. Our inbox is not necessarily busy, but right now we're getting a large influx of emails, kind of all around the same time. So right now, if you guys would give us, say 24, 48 hours to get back with you, we definitely will. For those of you that are leaving voicemails for us, we are getting them. It would be greatly helpful if you would also provide your email address. If you're not a district that we tend to communicate with frequently, just so if we did need information kind of quickly, we could follow up with you through email. That'll just kind of save us some time. The more details you can give us up front, the better, and quicker we can get back to you. So again, if you're just reaching out to us right now for any given issue, if you could please provide some detail to your questions, that'll help us and kind of save out back and forth emails from our office asking for, say, which student are you talking about that's causing you an issue, or say, which report are you talking about when you do reach out to us. So just letting you know, our office is still working remotely, so we will get back to you, especially if you are calling us. But right now, email is going to be the best way to get a hold of us quickly. Also, if you're using Teams, we've gotten INs from districts as well. So either way, you're communicating with us. We will get back to you. We just might be a little slower than we have been in the past. So if there are any questions and whatnot, you feel free to unmute yourself.
I missed the first couple minutes. Did you cover the Title I, Title V issue?
Yes.
Okay, sorry.
I will go ahead and stop the recording.